Hey friends, I'm Amy, and today we're making our second Cracker Barrel copycat recipe, the Hashbrown casserole. This one can be just a side dish, or it can be a full meal all by itself with the loaded version, and that is what we're going for today. We're also going to be making this a breakfast meal, because normally this comes with bacon at Cracker Barrel, but many copycats also include sausage. So hash browns with bacon or sausage or even both? It just screams breakfast to me, so let's get cooking. To start, preheat the oven to 350 degrees and make sure the rack is in the middle position. Then grab a 9x13 baking dish, give it a little spray with some cooking oil, and then set that to the side for later. For the first prep, we need 2.5 cups of shredded Colby cheese. I was able to find a block of just Colby, but most of what I was seeing at my local stores was Colby Jack. So if you just cannot find straight up Colby cheese, then using Colby Jack would be perfectly fine. But I would very much recommend shredding up a block of cheese and avoiding pre-shredded if you can for this recipe. The anti-caking stuff on the pre-shredded cheeses, it can make the cheese have a gritty texture when it melts. I also did this by hand, but you can just run the cheese through a food processor and it'll shred up in moments. When we have 2.5 cups, we're gonna set that to the side. Next is our hash browns. We want a 30-ounce bag of frozen hash browns, but we need to thaw them out completely before making this. When the hash browns are thawed, drain them and then use either some paper towels or some clean kitchen towels and then dry them as best you can. They don't need to be completely like Sahara dry, but we don't want a bunch of extra water in there to make our casserole soggy or to turn the hash browns into mashed potatoes instead of hash browns. When the potatoes are drained and dried, dump them into a large bowl, and here's where we get to the dump and go sort of thing going on with this recipe. To the big bowl with the hash browns, add 2 cups of the shredded Colby cheese. Leave that extra half cup separate for now, and then just kind of set that to the side again. Add 8 ounces of sour cream or 1 whole 8-ounce tub, and 1 can of condensed cream of chicken soup. You can make this from scratch, and I have made it for the channel, so I'll link that one in the description. Add 1 large beaten egg, a half teaspoon of garlic powder, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder, a half teaspoon of salt, and about a half teaspoon of black pepper. Stir and fold all of this together until everything's combined. We want to make sure the sour cream and the condensed soup have fully broken down and we don't have any lumps in there. We also don't want any dry clumps of potatoes, and we want the cheese and the seasonings to be evenly distributed. Now you can also add a 1/4 cup of melted butter if you want some added richness. If you do that though, you want the butter to be melted but not hot, because adding hot melted butter runs the risk of starting to cook the egg. And we want that as a binder, not as a scrambled egg. When everything is fully combined, dump all of the mixture into the 9x13 baking dish we prepared earlier and spread that mixture out evenly in the dish the whole way to the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we want it pretty even so everything cooks evenly. Now grab the half cup of shredded Colby cheese we reserved earlier and sprinkle that all over the top of the casserole. Bake this at 350 degrees for 45 to 55 minutes or until that cheese is melted and starts to brown a little on the top. Now, if you're using this as a side and you don't want to go any further, you're done. When it comes out of the oven, you can top it with a little fresh parsley or even some green onions and chow down. But we're making a loaded casserole, so while that's baking, we're gonna make our other toppings. To start, let's whip up some bacon. You can make as much or as little as you like, but if you want bacon on the whole casserole, I would recommend 6 to 8 slices. You can cook this on the stove or in the oven while the casserole's cooking, but I'm using the oven so I can work on other things at the same time. At 350, it took about 30 minutes for this bacon to get nice and crispy. When it's done, place the bacon on a paper towel lined plate just to soak up any excess grease and let it cool for about 10, maybe 15 minutes at most. Just cool enough to handle without burning your hands, basically. Then either crumble it up or chop the bacon into little pieces and set it to the side. While those are both in the oven, I'm also making some sausage because we just love variety. Add some breakfast sausage to a pan and cook it over medium heat, stirring and flipping it around periodically until it's cooked through and it reads 160 on a thermometer. Now, if you want a nice crust and a brown sear on your sausage, you'll want to get your pan nice and hot before adding the meat. When that's done, set it to the side. Okay, here's where I'm departing from the norm just a little, because technically we are now done with even the loaded version of this casserole. But I always love some eggs with a savory breakfast, so I'm also whipping up some scrambled eggs on the side. When I make eggs, I just throw some in a bowl, add a pinch of salt, some black pepper, splash a half and half or milk. You can even add some shredded cheese if you like, because cheesy scrambled eggs are delicious. Whisk the egg mixture up, and now we'll head to the stove. I also always add a little butter to my pan for some added richness. When the butter is melty and hot, pour in the eggs, cook them over medium-low heat until the eggs are cooked to your preferred doneness. Some people like their scrambled eggs cooked very lightly, so they're still pretty wet. And some people like to cook them to within an inch of their lives. At my house, we tend to prefer somewhere right in the middle. So just go with what you like and then set these to the side too. I also try to time these though, just before the casserole comes out, or maybe even whip them up right after so they're nice and hot. Our casserole is done, along with all our toppings and our sides. I mean, look at that thing. The cheese is just showing that beautiful browning, especially along the sides. That is exactly what I was looking for. Cut that casserole into 10 pieces if you want to go with the serving size, and serve it topped with your choice of bacon, sausage, both. Add some eggs, top everything off with some fresh parsley or green onions, just like if you're using this as a side, and breakfast is served. Or brunch or dinner or whatever, because breakfast food is delicious for any meal of the day. Check out those hash browns. And they're soft, but they still have that shredded hash brown texture and not mashed potatoes, which is just right. Crispy, smoky bacon, sausage, eggs, and so much cheese. I did not put more cheese on top of this because this thing is already so loaded with cheese that it just didn't need any more. I guess there is such a thing as too much cheese. I didn't think there was, but yeah, I mean, you can add more cheese if you want to. Now for the money. Cracker Barrel charges around $4.50 for a single serving of the loaded hash brown casserole, so this would cost $45 for the 10 servings this recipe makes if we bought it. I spent $15.87 on the ingredients to make this casserole, as well as the toppings, which comes to about $1.59 per serving. Now, I'm not including the scrambled eggs though, since that doesn't normally come with this dish. But if I did, we still would only have spent $16.68 for everything. I do have to say though, I was a little worried when I saw what Cracker Barrel charges for this, because they do actually charge relatively low prices for a restaurant. But we still could have made this at home for almost 3 times over for the $45 that a single batch of this costs at the restaurant. How crazy is that? Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Maybe leave me a comment below if you love making Copycat restaurant foods as much as I do. Or if you like saving money as much as I do, because doing this has opened my eyes. I mean, I always knew restaurants are more expensive than eating at home in that theoretical sort of sense, but I didn't realize just how much more expensive it actually is. It's insane. Come and hang out with me on Sundays for comforting and cozy home-cooked meals and treats, We make a little bit of everything, so there's something for everyone. Just saying. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Wednesday for some more Better at Home Copycat cooking. Bye.